Good morning, everybody. It is 9:20 on Monday morning. I am out in the shop, and we're going to start our day with glue ups on the Chaos blanks. Once I get as many of these in glue as possible, and I say as many because I don't think I have enough clamps to do them all, but once I get as many of them in glue as possible, then I'm going to start experimenting. I've got a project that I want to work on, and I may show some little sneak peeks here and there, but it's just a project I'm working on, trying to teach myself how to do something. So that's what I plan to work on today. I may turn that watch parts blank later today. I don't want to do that in between glue ups because it's too distracting. I want to be able to glue up and then go play with something, then take a break and come back and do a glue up. You know what I mean? So I want to be able to focus when I turn that watch parts blank because I don't want to screw it up. So I'll wait maybe later today if I get a good portion of these Chaos blanks done. I'll take a little break and focus on that watch part blank pen. Check this out, guys. I just threw these up on the table. No real order. I wasn't planning anything. I just was moving them off of my maker cart so that I could use that for glue ups because I want to keep the table free for cutting. And check this out. If I put a tape measure on here, it's just a tad bit over 14 inches. That's right at 14 inches. And that one is just a tad bit under 14 inches. So bottom line, and really they're all about 14 inches in width when you measure some of the shorter pieces. So what I'm thinking is, this is perfect. I'm going to look at them and make sure I don't have anything. Like you'll notice, I got these two maples here. I probably will move those so they're a little farther apart. And you want to make sure you don't have two of those things meeting. So I may flip some of these, back and forth since both sides have been jointed. But this is going to be great because once I get them glued up into 3 blocks, they'll be almost like cutting boards. I can cut the ends off of them to square them and use these little cutoff pieces to fill in all of the holes, the gappy holes. And I should have 3 full large blanks that I can hack up and turn into Chaos blanks. So I'm going to end up with way more than I thought this time, which is really cool. I didn't think this project was going to get this big, but I'm really happy that it has. Well, guys, I just had a monkey wrench thrown into my plans. I was going to glue these up, and then I was going to square both sides and take the cutoffs and glue them into the holes to, to really kind of clean things up. I can't do that. And the reason why is I've jointed both sides of each of these glue ups. In the past, I would joint one side, trim everything off, and then glue the piece in, and then joint the second side. So I'm not going to be able to do that. So what I think I'm going to do is we'll clean up, we'll clean up the sides of these and try to square them. Try to get maybe a solid 12-inch length out of each of them and square them all up, and then we'll glue them together. So I'll make a 12-inch by 12-inch square as opposed to a 12 by 14, and then I'll take all the cutoffs and try to glue them back together just to make a large block. Because I don't want to waste anything. That's some beautiful wood, but I think that's the direction I'm going to have to go. All right, guys, we have a plan change, which is very common here in the old workshop. I got my sled set up, and I was ready to start cutting these down. I set the stop to 12 inches. I was going to clean one side, flip it around, and then whack the pieces off to 12 inches because this piece here is just a hair over 12 inches. And something hit me. Why do I want to do that? I've got some pieces that are really long. The average length is maybe 13 to 14 inches. Why do I want to do that? So what I'm going to do is we're going to mix them all up. I'm going to go to each one of these 3 sets, and I'm going to pull out the shortest blanks. And I think I counted 11 sets of blanks roughly per each of these sets. I honestly forgot how many it was. Not a big deal. But I'll pull out 10 or 11 of the shortest ones. We'll put them together, and then we'll pull out, I'm going to try to put the long ones together, the mediums together, and the shorts together, and have 3 blanks. That way I cut the least amount of material off of these blanks. I wanted to make a comment about this wood pile real quick too. I have received, since I've shown this in a number of videos, both on this channel and in a shop update that I did, which by the way will be out tomorrow around 6 p.m., maybe a little after Central Time. I've been burning a lot of this wood. This is leftover wood from my Adirondack chairs. These are some of the larger pieces. I burned the smaller pieces. And a lot of people are, why don't you cut those up and make them into pin blanks? Well, this is this is cedar. And it's cedar for decking, and you can take a look. It is the fast growth stuff, the renewable stuff. They grow this, and I don't know, it takes 6, 8, 10 years, whatever, and then they harvest it. So it's super soft. It's not the best quality of wood, and looking at it, it's not the most beautiful wood. And I really don't want a bunch of cedar pins and cedar bowls, etc. These are the larger pieces. The smaller pieces I'm burning. What these are going to be used for, I don't want you guys to freak out. They are getting used. Back over here, I need things to hang, like I showed you guys my little shelf, and you'll see that in the shop update video coming out. I need things like that to hang devices on. All these little pieces are going to come in. The little pieces, super handy for those little hangers. I need something to hang my drills up. This is the type of wood we'll use for that. This wood gets used in the shop. And if it was beautiful, I would not burn it. I would glue it up and use it in a chaos or something, but this stuff is too soft and it just doesn't make the best pins when you turn it down, because you saw the grain in that stuff. I mean, look how open that is. Look at the holes in that stuff. That would not do well for pins or for turning a bowl or anything nice. So don't worry, I'm not burning all of that. I'm going to use as much as possible. We're just burning little tiny pieces, little tiny chunks that I really can't make anything out of. What I'm finding is no matter how I arrange these, they're all somewhere between about 12 and 13 inches in length, which is kind of odd because of the way they're cut. I mean, you've got these little gaps down here, and on this one I was able to back everything up so I can just, this one and this one, just, you know, clean those off, and I still only have about maybe 13 inches to there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to clean one side up on each of these blanks. I think this one needs to be mixed up a little bit more. This one I think is ready to go. And I'm going to clean one side up. You see how I tried to use a straight edge there and a straight edge there, and of course just lining them up over there. We're going to cut one edge off, and then I'm going to find the shortest one. I will set the stop, and we'll take all the rest of them down to that length, get them glued up. We'll have all the little cutoffs. We'll mix in with those pieces there and try to maybe do some fun little glue ups, you know, in spare time. I won't do that today, but we should be able to then start gluing. But these all have such a nice fit when I slide them together. I mean, look at that. You've got a really nice fit between them all. Looks like there's a gap there, but really that's just a shadow because that blank is higher than that one. But yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Check these out. You saw how I had the one end kind of lined up roughly. I mean, these aren't perfectly cut. You can see a little bit of difference here. But I set my stop block, cut the other end, so they're all right about the same length. Got another stack there. Those look beautiful. They're gonna make some killer blanks. Just take a look at that wood. And then over here, I've got one more. This was my shorter setup that I had, or my shorter set of blanks that I had. And this one was missing a piece, but this got cut off of another blank. I'm gonna go ahead and glue this up on here, and then I'll just retrim that edge and make that one fit. And same thing's going to happen over here. I had one super long blank I cut this piece off of, so I grabbed this one and I thought, well, heck, I'll just glue that and clamp it right there, and then I can add that to the end of whichever one of these comes up the shortest. I think it may be this one, but yeah, I'm making progress. And here, this is all of the cutoffs I have, so I'm going to hang on to those, and we may just have some fun with those at a later date. You know, some of them are glued, you know, you see they don't move, they're glued together, but they're all jointed, so it should be pretty simple to start gluing them together and making something cool. I've got my two little corner pieces that needed to be added glued up. They just need to be trimmed, and then I can glue them to the rest of the blanks. And back here, these two in the back, these belong with those. They need to get glued together. These two get glued together, and with my larger clamps, I was able to go ahead and put together an entire blank. So that one, when it comes out of clamps, is ready to go to the saw and start getting cut. So while those are drying as full pairs, this one will start getting cut and mixed up, and I can just kind of keep working. So that worked out real well. I am super excited with how far I've got on these blanks back here. It's amazing. I'll be cutting 45s today, which is cool. I want you guys to know, and I just want to mention this, but over on Patreon, I am posting kind of like you do on Instagram, where I've posted a photo of these and a little blurb. A lot of things I'm posting, I've decided, you know, just when I'm around the shop shooting photos like that, I'll post photos and put my comments out there, kind of like Instagram. So even if you're not a subscriber, that's going to be available to the general public. That's going to be for everybody to pop in and see and enjoy. You know, there obviously will be some Patreon only things, but you'll know what they are because it'll tell you. But take the time to go over there and check out and watch. I'm going to try to post something every day over there. So, you know, the other day I posted about, I picked up a trunk full of drinks. You know, I like my specialty sodas, so I posted that. So there'll be stuff that, just like I was doing on Instagram, and I've got to kind of figure out how Instagram fits into all this, because I love Instagram and I want to keep posting there as well, but I'm trying to build content. I'm trying to build as much content as I can, and I want to build some content for everybody and then some content for patrons. So be sure to check that out. And hey, I want to show you guys, you know how they talk about album covers and deep cuts? Well, today I was looking for a shirt to wear, and I went into my closet, and it went way back to the back of my closet. And man, I got a deep cut on this shirt. Let's see if you can see this. The Cars, man, check that out. I love this shirt. I'd forgotten I had it. Man, I bet I've had this shirt for 20 plus years. A buddy of mine I worked with, I was in a control room when I worked at GE Plastics, and we were operators in the control room, and he was super into the Ramones, and you know, we were both really like the 80s music and sort of that new wave punk sort of edge on music. And we got to talking, and he was a big Cars fan. And he was making t-shirts, and he made some Ramones t-shirts, and because I like the Cars and he liked the Cars, he made a few Cars t-shirts, and I picked this one up off of him, and I really love it. I just forgot I had it, so I need to start wearing it a little more. But wish I would have got some of the Ramones t-shirts. I didn't at the time, and you know, you kick yourself a little later, but I probably didn't have the extra cash, who knows. But that's enough about that. I got to get back to work. I got some experimenting to do, and we're gonna make some progress on these things today. So hopefully I'll be cutting blanks really soon. I've got my final 2 blanks in glue up. Just put them in the clamps, so they've got about an hour to dry. But if we come back over to this side of the shop, the first one that we had that was a complete blank is ready to be cut into 45s. I've got my sled set to 45. This piece of tape here is pretty close to 1 inch off of the blade. I mean, it might be a little more, it might be a little less. It's not going to be that big of a deal, but I just can bring the blank over, line it up against here, and then push it through. Line it up, push it through, and continue to do that until I've cut all of my 45 degrees all the way across the blank. Once we do that, we'll mix them all up, and then we'll come over to the glue up table and get them glued back together. Let that dry, and then we will cut them in the opposite direction. Here's the first one. It's been cut at 45s. I'm ready to mix it all up and glue it back together. Really happy to see it get to this point. I'm making good progress. I've got a complete blank here that's had its first set of 45s done. It's in glue up. I just finished gluing up. It'll get a second set of 45s glued together, and then it'll be ready to be cut into blanks. Here's a second one that's got its first set of 45s done. It's glued up and ready for its second set, or its second cutting. These 3 are the 3 sections that get glued together to form one of these style blanks. So as soon as the glue dries, we'll glue those up into a block. We'll take these 2 blocks over to the saw, put the second set of 45s on them, we'll start gluing them up, and once they dry, we're ready to start cutting blanks. Over here on the lathe, I have been working on a bespoke pin. This is part of a custom video that I'm doing for my patrons over on Patreon. So I'm really excited about producing this video. And you know, there's a couple pieces to it. So I'm working on it today and putting it together, and then we'll build the video once I learn how I want the entire process to go. Other than that, the shop, it's not really looking bad. I've been doing a lot of cutting, and you'll notice there's not a whole lot of stuff on the floor. A little bit of dust on top of the saw, but the dust collection system is doing a really nice job catching it all. I've been working off and on this pen, and things are going really well. This is the body, and I was actually drilling into the body, and what happened is my drill bit got hot. I was pulling the bit out of the material and lubricating it with mineral oil, but it got hot to the point where it melted the plastic, which made the bit grab, and then it just chewed up the inside of my blank. So this blank is trash and will have to be remade. It's not a big deal. I've got plenty of blanks. It's just frustrating because I was close to finishing this pin, and now it doesn't look like I'll be finishing tonight. I do, however, think I will be finishing my Chaos blanks tonight. Second glue up on those 2 blanks. The other blank is in pieces behind that blank. I ended up making small squares out of it. I'll glue them up in a single large rectangle, which I can chop at a 45-degree angle and make pin blanks that are a little over 5, maybe 5 1/4 to 5 1/2 inches long. So I'm happy about that. I got a bunch of pieces up here, cutoffs, that just odd pieces. I'm going to try to glue some of these together and see if I can't make a blank or 2. But that's, you know, that's not a huge worry right now. Chaos blanks are ready. I have 32 of them at 5 1/4 inches. I have, I don't know, 4 or 5 here at 5 inches. Then I had a couple that, you know, because of the way the blanks come out, are a little bit shorter. There are some shorter pins these would be great for. And then I have some that would probably only work for, like, you know, the Sierra style pins. These would also work for the Sierra. So, man, I'm happy to have those done. I have one more glue up right here. There it is. And that, I don't know how many that will yield, but those should all be between 5 and 5 1/4 whenever I finally cut them. That last batch over there, the way I cut it, it was actually better to glue them up into squares and make that long rectangle, because I lose a triangle at each end, but it's a small piece compared to how they would have gone together. So that just worked out better. I am really happy with these. They really need to dry overnight, and then they'll be good to go for turning, you know, because they've got Type-On 2 on them. So that just needs to dry overnight, and they'll be good to go for turning. So I've had a bunch of people inquire about these. I need to pick one out for the gentleman who sent me the camera lens to turn his, and the rest of them I will do a video on this channel like I've done in the past, to where if you're interested in them, you know, I'll just list them out 1 through whatever, and I'll put a price with them and shipping, and then you just tell me I want this one, and it's yours. So get ready for that. I'm not going to list them until I cut this last blank up, but that's not going to be tonight. It's 8:45. I am covered in sawdust. I need a shower. I'm sweating and covered in sawdust. Great combination. I need a shower. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to shower up. I'm going to cool off. And tomorrow night or the next night when I can get back out in the shop, I'll cut that section of blanks up. I'll pick out the one I want then. I'm not going to worry about it tonight. I want a fresh look at them. And the rest of them I will photograph, film, whatever, and you guys will get a stab at them. So I really appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. This was probably a long video. I did a lot of updates on almost the same thing, but you know, in lieu of doing a video, that was the better way to do it. So have a great evening. I will see you again, I hope, really, really soon. Bye-bye.